Hello, AKC12 here. This video here is a tutorial for max speed for the course of Loop Cross, geared towards beginners and intermediate players who perhaps are either learning the game or have beaten the staff goals, but they want to push the time down even more, but they're either still learning some of the techniques or are struggling with the inputs for some of that. And that's why I have the hand cam here to more clearly demonstrate the inputs for some of the more tougher maneuvers. I'm using Fat Shark because the person who requested this was using Fat Shark on this course, and I'd say it's still a very good choice for beginners as long as you know how to quick turn well. Other machines you might want to use on this course are Gallant Star, which is similar to Fat Shark. Might be a little harder in my opinion, but if you're more comfortable with that machine, then use that machine instead. What I would personally recommend to newer players is our custom machines with the D-rated body. If you have the Action Replay exclusive parts, I would recommend Stormy Star. Otherwise, machines like Photon Cannon, which uses the optical wing part, Pretty Phantom, which is the Funny Swallow, or Photon Star, Photon Cannon. No, I already said that. Liberty Manta is also a good choice, but I would say the Stormy Star using Rage Knight is the best choice if you have that. And this is max speed, so it's set to 100, and let's get going. I'll be simulating lap 1 even though I'm in practice mode. One thing about the boost plates here is you want to hit the edge of it. If you have vibration on, you can tell you hit a double if it does a double jolt instead of a single one. You can also hear it, but it's kind of difficult to. Let's see if I can hit it. This might be a bit tricky. I got it. On lap 1, you definitely want to aim to hit as many of them in this course as possible. There's 4 boost plates. Normally I'm okay with missing 1 on the loops coming ahead. Otherwise, yeah, it saves about a 10th each time you do it, so once you get a hang of it, it's not definitely worth retrying if you miss the first or well, the second one you can miss. It's kind of in a tricky position. And upcoming is the coveted long turn that advanced players typically MTS the entire way. So let me get my other controller. I'll explain how to do the inputs for MTS. So right now I'm holding down A. Now the moment when I want to start an MTS, you hold down both buttons and you begin to steer, and then like in the very next moment you want to let go of A and R at the same time. So it goes something like this. Turn, L and R, let go. I started it a bit too late, and you want to exit. Let's try that again. You want to exit right when the turn straightens out. If you do it too early, you'll hit the left wall. Too late, there's a good chance you'll hit the right wall. And you want to MTS right when the dirt patch starts. And the exit I did, most of the time when newer players exit in MTS, they just hold A and turn to the left. Let me use the other controller. What I did instead was I held A, then tapped R and turned left. So it goes something like this. Something like that. Whoops. Didn't mean to quit. So it's pretty much the same thing, except when you press A, you just tap R for a split second. And instead of doing, and that lets you do a quick turn out of an MTS instead of a slide turn. And you retain much more speed if you do it that way, with any machine, especially Fat Shark. So right when the dirt patch ends, I'm tapping R to make sure I don't hit the outside wall. And I ended a bit too late there, but that's okay. I hit the edge there, I missed it there. Like, you need to go parallel with the boost plate when you hit it on the edge. If you like go at it sideways, or not completely parallel, you might miss the edge boost bonus. And around here, maybe a few meters from here, you want to start an MTS here. That wasn't a great one. And this MTS here is a bit tricky. The timing to start is really important. If you do it too late, you'll hit the left wall. Too early, you'll crash onto the right wall. And you need a I did it a bit too early, so I couldn't do a full turn. And the thing about with heavy machines, especially Fat Shark and Gallant Star, the optimal turning angle when doing an MTS is like about a little more than 3/4 of the full turning you can do. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Yeah, just turn as hard as you can. Because if you let go of the turning while MTSing, you'll lose a lot of speed. And if you do it too much, you'll get out of the MTS completely, which is something you want to completely avoid. And this turn here is narrow, but if you can get it right, you'll benefit from it. Alright, boost laps. You want to boost straight out here, and here it's difficult. Newer players tend to have difficulty turning and boosting at the same time. What you can do is a single continuous quick turn with many of the machines I mentioned earlier. So let me grab this. So if you don't know the inputs of the quick turn, you hold both buttons and then let go of the opposite button you're steering. So if I'm turning right, it'll be like this. And during this turn, if you hold R the entire time and sort of feather right, as long as you keep turning most of the time and not remain straight for too long, you'll still be in a quick turn state, which lets you turn more sharply. So as long as you do that and stay away from the walls, you'll make the turn really well. Another way, if that doesn't work out for you, is while you're doing a full right turn, if you tap the L button, that lets you go into a drift, which lets you turn less sharply. But I wouldn't hold on for too long, or else you'll start losing speed. All that's needed is a little tap, like so. I'll demonstrate the first method, and on the next lap I'll demonstrate the second method. Hit the wall, pausing. Playing after a pause is difficult. And over here, all you need is a slight left turn and right turn to go from one reflex to the next. If you hold L, because of the physics when you're in loops or going up a steep uphill, you sort of like slide more than you intended. and you'll usually hit the wall on the left if you do it, if you press L for too long or too hard. And the weird thing with the loop physics is, even though your handling is a bit looser, the collision of the wall is a lot more generous for some reason. So you can like head towards the wall but not still get hit, as long as you're not going too sharply towards the wall. Like so. And the MTS here, it's a tricky one, but if you practice when you start it and how you exit it, which is right when the turn begins to straighten out, it can be beneficial, and you can use it to save a boost usually. Let's see if I can get it. I'm not at a very good angle to start this. So I should start talking about MT. So when you see my engine cut off, I'm emptying. And MT lets you decelerate much more slowly if you're going at a high speed. This is very important to maintain your speed and save boost in this instance, because your boost is the refillers you get in this course is very limited. You want to save boost when you can, just use it later. And with that hill section, when you lift off, you want to dive down a little bit. If you don't at all, you'll lose speed. But if you dive down too much, you'll still lose speed, but not as much. Yeah, you just have to feather up a little bit once you lift off. And then you let go of A once the boost ends, and find the right timing to MTS. I'll save up the boost here. Alright, so what I'm about to do is taking advantage of the weird loop wall collision and do an MTS right against the rail. So when executing that, when doing the MTS, I want to hold left for just a moment and then keep it neutral, which I will demonstrate right now. That wasn't great, but and one thing about MTSing with Fat Shark especially, if you feel you're slowing down a lot, you might want to consider exiting the MTS soon, because if you keep it up for too long, you'll lose much more speed and exit the MTS at a very low speed, which I consider to be less than 800. Now there's another way. It's possible from that downhill that's coming up to get a shift boost off of it. The heavier your machine, the higher speed you need to go to get it. With Fat Shark, you want to go around 1400 once you start going downhill. But there's a risk with this shift boost, especially with heavier machines. If you get the shift boost too early, you'll most likely fly off the track and retire. So I wouldn't recommend it to newer players, and instead just keep on boosting and then emptying. Let me see if I can get it. You see? It's really tough to control the proper speed to not fall off. But with lighter vehicles, you might want to give it a shot if you think that's the better way to go about it. There's you have much less of a chance to fall off the course with lighter machines compared to heavier ones. But there is still a chance, mind you. Let me demonstrate a proper Let's retry. Let me show you the other method for quick turning. The long turn. I'm not used to this method, so that wasn't executed as well. I should come away with another boost. Start again. Let's quit out. Let's go true time attack mode. Let me talk about boost strategy for right now. So I'm about to show you what my boost strategy I would do for this course, but it's really up to you if you think there's a better one, or if it's easier for you to perform. When using boost, you generally want, and if in a course where the refiller is limited, you generally want to avoid boosting right before a boost plate, especially if you're coming off another boost. What players tend to do is MT, hit the boost plate, and then hit the boost again. In this case, it's fine because I have enough energy. I missed the edge plate there. Also there, I would normally restart, but I won't, because I didn't get the boost plates out off the natural MTS there. I think if you start closer to the right wall, you can get a better MTS from that turn. So I decided to boost right, or I should have boosted slightly before the finish line, but before the first boost plate. If you prefer, you can boost after the first boost plate, or boost into the turn and do a faster MTS. You can use ghost data to compare which one is faster. But yeah, I think this is the best way to go about it, but if you don't want to do the MTS like I did just there, or use it for after the long turn, you're free to do so. And now in lap 3, you don't want to hold back with the boosts. And that was a pretty decent time. Had some mistakes. I can probably push this to 145 if I get the shift boost and not crash. Another thing I neglected to mention is MT boosting. So it's basically a short MT between boosts to minimize the speed you lose between boosts. And with that short, and the timing of the boost is different for most of the machines. Each boost for Fat Shark is about 2 seconds. So, and there is an audio cue you can hear if you put the volume up loud enough. And if you look at when the engine changes color which determines that the boost ends, you can sort of use an audio cue to learn the timing of when you should start emptying and when to start boosting. And yeah, you definitely need to keep track of when the boost ends when you do a normal MT or an MT boost. Anything else? I'll just try out one more time. Let me try to get a faultless run. I started that too early. Let me try this instead. So I will boost here, so I can get a MTS there. I hit the wall there, so that wasn't good. And I'm still leading some out. Wait, did I get some sort of skip on the loop? Still want to save a boost here so I can use up the rest for the end. And this MTS here, if you aren't careful, you can hit the wall and die just like that. So you can, if you want, you can not MTS there for safety if you have a very good run. But yeah, just be a little careful there, or else you'll hate yourself. Yeah, definitely try to avoid hitting walls. You need all the energy you can get for the start of lap 2. And I'm still trying to get the edge boost here. I started the MTS a little bit earlier because I got both edge boost plates. And I missed the last one. I should mention that the MT point for regular boosting with Fat Shark is about 1,070 or 80. 1,270 or 80. It's a bit higher if you're coming off a boost plate, about 200 or 300 kilometers faster. God. A much better MTS. Yeah, I'm not emptying there because I'm still within the 1400, low 1500 range. You don't have to worry about the speed too much, just on lap 1. Just hold A unless you get a bunch of boost plates. Let me go for the shift boost here. No, I was too slow. What I like to do at the end of the MTS is to turn in a bit more and then do a quick turn exit, just to get a bit of extra speed at the end. Not the run I wanted, but that should give you a good idea of how to do this course and how to maneuver through the tricky sections and how to MTS it. If you want more of these, I'd be happy to do more of them. Let me know which course or machine combo you want to see. I may do some others myself, whichever one I feel like would be most beneficial to players learning this game. This is my second time doing this. I had notes, but I sort of didn't use them at all. If you have any feedback or want to comment on anything, feel free. And I hope you find this useful. Alright.